Welcome to the Crafty Contemplations podcast. Hi, my name is Val, and this is the Crafty Contemplations podcast. I'm calling this a creative podcast for all things knitting and other arts and crafts, depending on what catches my fancy. So today I have some knitting, some finished projects, some works in progress, and I also have some fun printmaking stuff to share with you at the end. So let's get into it. So it has been forever since I have been on here. I think the last time that I filmed was in January because I filmed a what I'm going to make in 2025. And I picked out 6 projects that I've had in I wasn't necessarily planning on stash busting or, working from the vault or anything like that, but it does seem that those have been common themes in, some of the podcasts that I've been watching and, some of the things that I've been seeing. So it was fairly on point, I think, for 2025. But I picked out 6 projects that I was going to work on, so I have made some progress on those, and also maybe one that's not on the list. All right, I have 2 finished objects to share. The first is my Tolsta tea, and this is by the Creabea Rebecca Clow. I did the fingering version, and I did include bust shaping for size D. In hindsight, I probably didn't really need to do it, but I'm happy with how it turned out. The major modification that I made was one that was included on the modifications page. And I just thought that this version of lace was so pretty. It's got just the eyelet rows. So the eyelets are bordered by a garter row. So you do a row of pearls, and then you do your yarn over pearl, knit 2 together, and then you do another row of pearls. And then I alternated these with 8 rows of stockinette and a single row of pearl, just to create these garter bumps throughout the piece. So I really am pleased with the way that turned out. I remember watching Rebecca's podcast like way back when these came out, and she made like one in green after one of her testers made that modification. And I just loved it so much I had to have one. So I'm really glad that that's finally done. I do have to wear a tank top under it, but I just wear like a little cami and it's perfect. The only thing is, the eyelets are a little bit big, like a little bit see-through. But I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. I used Hobbi rainbow cotton. I think it's 8.4, but I will confirm. And it's held up pretty well so far. I've worn this a lot. I didn't necessarily take the best like FO pictures, but I've worn it quite a few times. I've worn it with high-waisted jeans, and I've worn it with high-waisted skirts. I followed the pattern exactly, and it's meant to be like a cropped tee. It's cropped on me, like I'm tall. I definitely could have gone probably like another inch or so, and still been able to wear it with high-waisted everything. But I think it's very wearable. It's gone into the washing machine because my husband, does our laundry sometimes, and I didn't warn him about it in advance. But it held up really well, so I'm really pleased with the way that the cotton is wearing. I'm getting like a little bit of pilling, under the underarms, which I think is, pretty normal place to get that kind of pilling, but it's not bad. And it seems to be kind of like, I've just been kind of, as I was preparing to set up, I was just kind of picking at it a little bit, and it seems like it's coming off just fine. So, so far so good. And I'm very happy with this mauve color. So that is my finished Tolsta tee. The other thing that I finished that I know I talked about last time was I did a mashup of the Flax sweater by Tin Can Knits. Um, Tin Can Knits has this pattern out on Ravelry in worsted and in DK, but if you use their app, because they have a new app, well, I say new, but I think it's been out for a year or two now. Um, but if you use their app, they have some of their free patterns on the app, and they have a few paid patterns on the app as well. I think that they're trying to move toward like putting more of their stuff up there. Um, all that to say, if you use the app for the flax sweater, you can choose between all of the sizes. So it's really cool. When you open it up and get started, you can choose if you want adult, kid, or baby, and then you choose more specific from there. And then the other thing that you can choose is you can choose the yarn weights. You can choose worsted, DK, sport weight. At least I know this one went to sport weight. I can't remember if there were any other options. Um, but I chose sport weight because I had just finished making the Obsidian sweater for myself. The Obsidian sweater is an incredibly gorgeous pattern by the Wool Barrow, uh, Tanya Barley. And I had some yarn left over. So in true knitters math fashion, I purchased a little extra yarn and then had enough to make the baby version. I say baby version. This is the kids version. My daughter is 2 years old and she's wearing like 4 to 5T. So I made 4 to 5 year olds. I made that size. And then what I did was I just, between the sizing and the yarn weight, I figured out which one would allow me to do, whatever number of repeats I was able to do from just this section of the Obsidian pattern. I didn't do anything around like the yoke or anything. I just pulled one of the straight sections and did that, throughout the belly of the sweater, throughout the body of the sweater. I don't know how easy it is to tell up on the screen, but my gauge in the color work is definitely way, 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 way off. And I tried so hard, you guys. Like, I measured it while I was working and it seemed fine. And I went up a needle size just in case. And yeah, I should have gone up 2 needle sizes. It's not bad. And I did block it out a little bit, but you can definitely see that there's much more drape and give to the pattern up, up in the neck, up in the sleeves and everything. There's a little bit of puckering as we come into the color work part, and there's not really very much more. uh the yarn can only stretch so far. um so long story short, uh, my kiddo wore this twice, I think, and I don't know if I made her, the larger size, thinking that she'd be able to wear it for a few years. I would just roll up the sleeves now, and she'd be able to wear it for a couple years. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I am toying with the idea of ripping back just the color work and then just continuing the body just in this plain. Can't remember the colorway that I got in this, because it's a little bit lighter than my colorway, but from the Obsidian. But I think I have enough to just go back and make it all brown and just skip the color work. But I don't know. There's something about ripping out all of that color work that I don't know if I can take it. Because it did, it was a little bit loose in the shoulders for her, and it was a little tight across the little toddler belly. So I don't know. We'll see. That will be a problem for another time. If I am going to rip it out and make it wearable for longer, or I might just move on to the next, baby flax, or 4 to 5 year old flax, because I did pick up some more yarn to make her another one, because of course I did. So those are my 2 finished objects. All right, my first work in progress, my first whip is the Cara Wrap by the Crayabea. I have done everything for the body. So I've done all of the body. The only thing that I have left to do is the little I-cord ties. There's supposed to be one here and on the inside. Um, well, I guess I have to have them on both sides, right? Um, I haven't read the instructions for the I-cord yet. But I've done everything for the body. I just have not picked up the sleeves yet. For some reason, that's been feeling particularly daunting. I just haven't wanted to sit down and count, I suppose. The only real modification that I've made here is I did just a tubular bind off for the ribbing. Just to give it a little more stretch, make it look a little bit more finished. But I really love the way that it's turning out. I'm knitting a size 3, which size-wise should be just a little snug on me, right? Like this is a wrap pattern that is meant to have like up to 0 ease. I don't think it's meant to have negative ease, but it is meant to have like 0 to 2 inches ease, if I remember correctly. So according to my measurements, that would be a little snug on me, but I am using superwash yarn. So this is Malabrigo Rios, and my experience with superwash is that it does tend to stretch out a little bit. So I'm erring on the side of just a smidge snug, and hopefully if I have accounted for everything correctly, hopefully that should be okay in the end. It is meant to be a wrap cardigan, just kind of around the bust and through the sleeves. So even if it ends up just a smidge on the short side, I still think it'll be okay, and we'll see. I have been alternating skeins, and besides just trying to get on the right side of the size discrepancy, I have been trying to do everything correctly for my Cara Wrap. Again, she's been off to the side a little bit just because I really need that motivation. I don't know what it is, just I think that my knitting lately has just been in small snippets where I've needed something that was, quick to pick up and get right back into wherever I left off. So she's just been on hold for a little while, but I am really excited to finish it. I have already, how you start like planning out some outfits in your mind. I have a dress that I want to wear with her, and probably a skirt that I want to wear. So I definitely am really excited for this to be done. I live in Florida, so we are definitely not in sweater season right now, nor will we be for quite some time. And I do tend to, I don't know, I've definitely made seasonal things, but seasonal for me just means sweaters or tees or tanks. Like there's either summer or there's winter, and there's no in between for me, because there's not really a need for me in Florida to wear anything in between. There is a need, because if you have spent any time here, you will know that the AC game is absolutely insane in Florida. I work as a classroom teacher, and my classroom is frigid. Like when I tell you that there are days when I can not even like pick up my pencil to draw because of how stiff my hands get in my classroom. It's crazy. So I'm one of those people who I have to have like office sweaters because my classroom is absolutely frigid. I do love having, uh, some projects like tees or tanks or whatever that I can just wear out normally. But besides that, my wardrobe gets its most use indoors. Oh, you can just see Cleo shifting around on the futon. Hi, Cleo. um, so yeah, so that's the Cara Wrap. Looking forward to picking up the sleeves sometime soon. All right. Next up, I have my, ooh, avalanche. Next up, I have my leaf cardigan. So yep, part of the theme this year is Crayabea knitting patterns, because I definitely have 2 of them on the list. Maybe more, honestly. I seem to not be able to help myself. But I have made quite a bit of progress. So I had not cast this on at all when last we spoke. So this is a new cast on, and it's working up pretty quickly. I should have had the hindsight to actually finish off the row before sitting down to film, because now it's kind of awkward to show you. But here is the cardigan panel, and I mean, it's on my circulars, so I can't like completely unfold it at this point. But the leaf cardigan is all about the intarsia. So I have the purple side over here, and I have the orange side over here. And this is the panel in the back where it all joins. And I'll bring that in just a little bit closer so you can see. I'm really, really loving the way that this is coming together. It's actually been working up really quickly. This is a pretty loose gauge, I would say. It's Cascade 220, which I think it's considered worsted, but I also find that it goes pretty quickly because you get into, I don't know, at least for me, I get into my rhythm with the pearls, similar to how I get into a rhythm with my knits. So it's still going pretty quickly. And Rebecca actually links to the Tin Can Knits tutorial for intarsia. So I just kind of bringing it full circle. I talked about them just a couple minutes ago, and here they are cropping up again because they taught me how to intarsia. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I'm making this one in, so kind of the exact opposite of what I did with my last whip, but I'm making this one in the size 4. This is a drop shoulder cardigan, and speaking again of my classroom temperatures and having office sweaters, that's really what I have in mind for this piece. I really want it to be something like big and cozy. I'm going to be making the sleeves a little extra long so that they'll kind of come down a little bit longer, and I can really kind of get snuggly in the cardigan. So I wanted to definitely make sure that I had enough room. So I went for, if I'm kind of straddling that line between the 3 and the 4, I definitely went for the size 4 on this one. And hopefully that will again go according to plan. All right, moving right along. I have a third whip that I have started that is not on any lists, has not been seen before today. So this is the Tanager tank. I don't know if that's a hard G or a soft G, but this is, I'll put her info up, but I'm pretty sure on Instagram she's called Windwood Knits. This is a really cute tank. I'm doing the V-neck version. She has options for a V-neck and for just kind of like I don't want to call it a scoop or a square neck because I can't remember which one it is, but she has definitely the options for the V-neck and then what I'll just call the S-neck. I'm doing the V-neck. This is a fingering weight pattern, and it calls for sock yarn. It is an all over ribbed tank that is, it kind of stretches to measure. So this is the back panel that I have done so far. Really doesn't seem like much, but when you open it up to full stretch, you've got a fair amount of fabric there. So this is the back panel. I am almost ready to start the increases. I think I need 4 more rows of working like this, and then I start the increases. So that is really exciting. I am using the second skein of sock yarn that I used for my sister's socks that I made her for Christmas. So this is Barnyard Knits sock yarn. I can't remember the colorway off the top of my head, but I had a full skein and I have a pretty decent chunk left over from my sister. So I weighed it out against what the pattern said, and I should have more than enough to complete the tank. Um, I might, if I have a little extra, I might try to make it just a smidge longer to be more classroom friendly. But I am really, really excited about this. I love this color. It's like the base color is like a kind of like a beigey peachy pink. It's really subtle, and then it picks up these greens and like a little bit of yellow ochre almost. So just really, really nice. And uh, I kind of have some outfits in mind already, right? So I have like this linen shirt, which is like an olive green, and I have matching pants. So I think that'll go really nice to wear this with, the set of linen. I can see wearing this with just a beige linen shirt. Um, I think it's just going to look really nice with quite a few different options. So this has captured some attention lately because it's a nice small knit. It fits in just my little small project bag, so it's easy to pop in my big bag and take that with me. And then plus these first few or this first section of rows was just straight, so I didn't have to count or pay attention or anything. So just really quick to have on the go. My Leith cardigan, I've made so much progress on it. It's starting to get a little bulky. I have to have, and I have to have I have to have three different colors with me at all times. And my bag for my Leith cardigan is kind of hefty, and I still have like three more skeins I think that I haven't wound up. So she's becoming kind of a bedside knit at this point. Just because, when you get to that point in a sweater, it can be kind of difficult to take with you. At least I think. So depending on where you're going, I suppose. So those are my whips. I feel like I've had a pretty decent few months of knitting, but like I said, mostly just catching small amounts of time here and there, knitting at night while we're watching TV, or, bringing something along on days that I know I have a meeting. I don't really get a lot of time to knit during the day, so it's mostly just in the evening, which is great. I think I've made a lot of progress on these three, and so I'm going to try to prioritize these and prioritize getting them off the needles. And then I have 4 more items that are on my list. So I had, I'll pop them back up so that I can kind of refresh my memory as well. But I have 6, I had a total of 6 planned for 2025. And we're coming up on summer. So hopefully that'll be a good time to make some more progress on everything. I do have an acquisition from last we spoke, and I was knitfluenced by someone. I can't remember who. If I can find it, I'll post her. I'll put her info up. But I think she was just. I think she was. I think she posted something on Instagram. But I found this Knitting Masterpieces book. This thing is fairly old. I don't know when it was published. (1987). I feel bad saying 1987 is old. 1987 is the year my husband was born. Um, let's just say that fashion has changed quite a bit since 1987, and I think knitting has changed a lot since that time. So anyway, to what the book is. The book is a collection of sweaters with color work charts from famous paintings. So the book is by Ruth Herring and Karen Manners, and they've done famous paintings. So the person I saw who knit-fluenced me was doing the Mona Lisa. So I'll pull that up so you can see what she looks like. Cute, right? I feel like now is a good time to say that if you didn't know, I teach art. I teach high school art. So I teach in Florida, which is a whole nother mess. But I teach high school art in Hillsborough County, and I have also recently started teaching AP Art History as well. So, I mean, I would have loved this anyway, right? Like any art teacher is going to love these masterpieces, but I have also spent a lot of time with some of these pieces this year. So they have work from Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Monet, Degas, Liechtenstein, right? Like the list goes on. So I've spent a lot of time with these guys this year. So it just feels very, very, very appropriate. The one that I want to do first, and I'm going to add to my list at some point, I don't know exactly when, but I'll add to my list at some point, is I want to start with Michelangelo's David, that's what he looks like. So back to what I was saying originally. So knitting styles have changed a lot. These sweaters are done to, number one, a single size, and number two, like the style is very 80s, right? Like you can tell. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hack it. I'm going to modify it in some way. I'm going to take the chart and I'm going to superimpose it onto someone's more recent sweater that is like properly size inclusive. I think that for the Michelangelo, I was looking at a couple of drop shoulder pullovers for the Michelangelo, if I remember correctly. The way that the chart is laid out, I'm going to need to have a little bit of that space across the chest. Like I don't think I would be able to like superimpose it onto a raglan very easily, at least without keeping like all the same stitch counts and everything. So it's going to be a labor of love. Sleeves are supposed to say Michelangelo, but the sleeves on the sweater are like boxy sleeves. So I don't think that's really what I want to go for. I haven't decided if I'm going to just scrap the sleeves altogether or if I might try to modify it. Maybe I could like spell Michelangelo out over both sleeves or something like that. Yet to be determined. But there are so many good ones. This is so cute. There are so many good ones. I'm gonna have to actually like get with it to be able to make it happen. There's a cardigan for Monet's Water Lilies. Let me show that one. And there was another one that really caught my eye, which was, oh my god, the Wham is so cute. The Liechtenstein piece. It's just awesome. I mean, am I going to be that crazy art teacher, right? Like, am I going to be that art teacher who has a sweater for every single major work that we do? Maybe I am. Because these are just so cute. I really love these. So we'll see how I am able to get that project together. And I haven't even picked out yarn or anything like that. So, not high on the priority list, but it'll be done at some point. All right, so little personal updates. It's been since January, so several months. We are already at the end of the school year. We end here, we end at the end of May. So I've got just a few weeks left to get everything wrapped up and kick all these kids out for the summer. And oh, I'm really excited. I mean, I don't think I've looked forward. I can't remember the last time that I look forward to summer this much. Like I always look forward to summer, obviously, right? Having summers off is one of the perks of being a teacher. Um, but this one's been a year. And the biggest thing that we've been struggling with lately is uh, my wonderful 2-year old. As much as I love her, is not sleeping. She knows how to open doors now and do all the fun things that toddlers know how to do. So she has been waking up in the middle of the night and coming in to our room, and we just have not been getting good quality sleep lately. So I'm very much looking forward to not having to wake up to an alarm in just a few short weeks when we are on break. Um, Besides her not sleeping at the moment, um, all you can do is laugh, right? Like when you get to this point, all you can do is laugh, because if you can't laugh about it, then you're just going to, you know, go crazy. Um, so besides that, I've been making good progress on my classes for my master's. I finished a printmaking class, so I have some work to show you from my printmaking class. I also finished my designing your curriculum art class. I'm working on my master's in art education. Um, so I finished all of that, and then I also just started a drawing class. So I should have some fun drawings to show you all pretty soon. But last time we spoke, I think I showed you my little sketch that I had made of reimagining Hokusai's Great Wave um, under the Great Wave off Kanagawa, um, and I actually used it twice for class. So the first way that I used it was we did a reductive print. So a reductive lino cut means that you use the same block, but you like cut out more from the block each time. And so you print like a limited series. So I started with, this was the first time I've ever done a reductive lino cut. I started with, I think, 20 pieces of paper, maybe 25, maybe 25 pieces of paper for my first print. And I ended up with 10, like mostly usable ones at the end. So this for the first time I've done it, I had some issues with registration, which means that like not all of my lines match up properly. But um, this is how she turned out. So my reimagining is called Under the Red Wave off Florida. So uh, this is my own little personal bit of protest art that's out there in our current political climate. So, this is